Hello, welcome to another WWE 2K22 Identity Crisis. I forgot the name of the series for a second then. And here he is, the bad guy, Razor Ramon. So obviously you know who Razor Ramon's going to be fighting. And if you've seen the previous episode with Diesel and Kevin Nash, you know what's coming here. But if you haven't, and you don't, then I won't spoil it. But yeah. Oh, hello. That was weirdly echoey for a member of the audience. But yeah, Razor Ramon. So obviously Razor Ramon taking on Scott Hall to figure out who is the greatest version of Scott Hall in professional wrestling. Well, in WWE 2K22 at least. All versions of Scott Hall from professional wrestling are not in this game. But the two most famous ones most certainly are. Which is Razor Ramon and just Scott Hall. So, Razor Ramon gets his pyro. Lovely stuff. And he's in the ring. Got razors all over his trunks. So let's get Scott Hall out here, shall we? Representing the new world order. See how well I did that? With his outsiders top on. And we're at Bash at the Beach 1996. Because look who's in this match. Of course we are. Of course we are. Why wouldn't we be? There's no neutral territory, I don't think, between Scott Hall and Razor Ramon. There's no shows that they've both been on. Like, I think that's pretty impossible. So I could have gone with just a show that neither of them were on. Or I could just go on a show where this man changed wrestling history. Or helped change wrestling history. I mean, technically, I suppose he started the change on Nitro. But this is the show associated with the formation of the NWO, right? Like, in people's minds. It's the Nitro where Scott Hall showed up, and it's Bash at the Beach. And I just feel like Bash at the Beach just stands out a little bit more. So, there we go. Razor Ramon versus Scott Hall. Versus Scott Hall. What's this music? What is this music? Does anyone remember Scott Hall using this music? What is this? Anyway, this is sort of non-NWO Scott Hall, but it's still very clearly NWO Scott Hall. He's got outsiders on the back of his jacket. He's wearing the Wolfpack colours, which was vintage Scott Hall to wear red and black instead of white and black. He's got outsiders on the back on his butt as well. This is very definitely post-joining NWO Scott Hall, but what is this music? Anyway, yeah, just like we did with Diesel and Kevin Nash, it's a triple threat. There's three versions of Scott Hall on this game. There's Razor Ramon, there's Scott Hall, and there's Scott Hall NWO. So let's find out which one's the best in a AAA threat, shall we? I have no idea what that music is. Razor Ramon looking chilled. Scott Hall, I think that's NWO, looking ready. And NWO Scott Hall and Razor Ramon start it off, but then non-NWO Scott Hall, but still kind of. Oh, just removes NWO Scott Hall from the equation and goes after Razor Ramon. Okay. I was about to say I'm surprised he's actually gone after the other Scott Hall instead of them ganging up on the Razor Ramon. But, oh, there's a fall-away slam early in the match. But yeah, he seemed to actually be moving him out the way to go after Razor, but now the two Scott Halls really are going at it. And I'm going to have to try and keep track of which one's which here. The one with outsiders on his butt is non-NWO Scott Hall, I believe. The one being beaten up at the moment by Razor Ramon. And the one taunting on the turnbuckle thinking he's Stone Cold Steve Austin. That's NWO Scott Hall. If I remember correctly, yeah, he's got NWO in his butt, so I'm going to assume I'm correct there. Look at Razor Ramon dominating both Scott Halls. Oh, look at that left. Discus left. Sent Scott Hall flying. And a discus right for good measure as well. Razor Ramon is suddenly really in control of this one. Going after the knee. The left knee of Scott Hall. We've discussed in this series previously that if there's any underlying injuries or issues, who better to exploit them than themselves? You know, like, if Scott Hall has a dodgy knee, well, the other two Scott Halls are going to know that, right? Razor Ramon with the top rope elbow, by the way, but NWO Hall in to break up the pin at 1, and then just slaps Razor Ramon in the face, and then points at the top turnbuckle. Is he thinking of going high risk, or is he just being Scott Hall? I think just being Scott Hall, to be honest. Razor Ramon clashes with the ref on his way to the turnbuckle. That might have saved him a little bit. Or it might have cost him Northern Light suplex. Well, the NWO Scott Hall just taunts in the corner. Inverted atomic drop, and now goes after NWO Scott Hall. Does regular Scott Hall. And I thought he was going for another fall-away slam then, but no, slams him into the corner and just flings him across the ring. Are we going to call the fall-away slam what it is? The SOS? I'll let you guys fill in the blanks in the comments what that stands for, but Razor hit with the SOS and rolls out of the ring, leaving the two Scott Halls. NWO Scott Hall was going for a fall-away slam slash SOS there, but it was blocked, and now they're going at it, and this is going to be hard to call because they're both in black and red. I have to read the trunks to realise which one's which. Like, if they swap places at any point, it's going to really confuse me. Like now, for example. Oh, a slap to the back of the head of the NWO Hall. How disrespectful. Well, that's part of the mind games of Scott Hall in the ring. Just being disrespectful. Taking his opponent out of the game. And Razor Ramon there was showing off for the audience and almost missed a pinfall, but would have been there to break it up, I'm pretty sure, had it been necessary. And he's now in there with non-NWO Scott Hall. And there's a fall-away slam slash SOS from Razor Ramon. Fall-away slams all round in this one. There's been quite a few already. And it's dragging Scott Hall away from the ropes, I imagine. NWO Scott Hall doesn't seem interested in breaking up this pin, but non-NWO Scott Hall kicked out anyway. Uh-oh. Choke slam by Razor Ramon as NWO Scott Hall taunts him. And Razor's not going to accept that, and he's going to go for a Razor's Edge here. No! If anyone knows how to counter that, it's Scott Hall, and he did. He successfully countered it into a back body drop. Jawbreaker by Razor Ramon, though, fighting back into it. And now using both hands for the choke slam this time, instead of a single hand, the traditional choke slam. But then Scott Hall kicks him off. This has been back and forth between those two, and now non-NWO Scott Hall getting involved as well. Turning this into a three-way fight. It's going for I think like an STO type maneuver there, but blocked by NWO Scott Hall. And a backbreaker holds on to him. Great strength by the outsider. And double backbreaker now goes after Razor Ramon, who's got him up, maybe thinking fall-away slam again, but NWO Hall fights out of it. Razor Ramon with the knee to the gut. Uh-oh. Hall fires back with a choke slam. Razor Ramon has dished out a choke slam, and he's received a choke slam now. Non-NWO Hall is out of it on the outside, just about sat up, slowly climbing to his feet using the apron, but he's not going to be there in time, but Razor Ramon kicks out at 2, and NWO Hall can't quite believe it. Now regular Scott Hall is in the ring, but NWO Hall is thinking of doing an outsider's edge as non-NWO Hall throws a toothpick. I don't think NWO Hall's noticed the other Scott Hall back in the ring, and indeed that costs him because non-NWO Hall was able to break up the pin attempt. Oh, the gut punch by NWO Hall. Oh, they are going back and forth here. Right hand, another one, a left body shot. Catches the kick, and then a single leg choke slam. And he's feeling himself, but now Razor Ramon's back in the battle. Uh-oh. Oh, look at that. He got out of the fall-away slam, lands on his feet. That's another way to counter that move. But Razor Ramon going for it again. No, goes for the backbreaker. And again, holds on. They have so much in common, these guys, including the majority of their moveset. Not a lot of it changed when Razor Ramon jumped to WCW and became Scott Hall. If you know what you're good at, you stick with it, right? Dragon Screw leg whip by non-NWO Hall, I believe that is. NWO Hall is on the outside at the moment, recovering. While these two do battle. Inverted atomic drop by Razor Ramon. Uh-oh. And now he's going for the Razor's Edge again. This time he's actually got Hall up. Fully up. And slams him down. But NWO Hall has made it into the ring just in time to taunt and do nothing about this. Has Razor Ramon noticed him? It would appear not. And that seems to be part of NWO Hall's strategy there. Stay out of line of fire of Razor Ramon, but he eats a choke slam. So much for that. So much for staying out of harm's way. Now, what's Razor got in mind for NWO Hall here? Non-NWO Hall seems unconcerned. He's just mocking the crowd, getting in their faces while these two go at it. Razor fired into non-NWO Hall, and now he's fired up. Now he's throwing lefts and rights. Oh, double neck breaker. NWO Hall and Razor Ramon teaming up. And now, look at this, Razor Ramon. He's got Hall up for the Razor's Edge. And down. This is his chance. The other Scott Hall is down on the outside. Yeah, don't waste any more time. Just pin him. Here we go. You're between him and the ropes. 1, 2. And he got him. Great victory for Razor Ramon, beating both Scott Halls in a single match. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you thought of that result in the comments. Is that how you think this would go if it were possible? And yeah, subscribe if you're new here. There's plenty more simulated gameplay on this channel. But for now, all I have left to say is thank you very much for watching. As always, I've been Ibeza. You've been amazing. And I will see you next time.